Welcome to the Hunters Hub, a Monster Hunter community podcast for hunters by hunters. Welcome, hunters, to Hunters Hub episode 19. Thank you for joining us again today. And we're going to be talking to someone who hasn't played Monster Hunter until Monster Hunter World. Brand new spanking hunter. And but first of all, let's round up who's talking today. This is Fortuan here, and we're joined again by Ariel. Welcome.
What's up, guys?
Thanks. And Loborin.
Hello, I'm still here.
And then Arctic, which is our new hunter.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Going decent. We're going to do like this big interview with Arctic here about, like how did you get into Monster Hunter, sort of introduce yourself and that kind of thing. So just for frame of context, we're going to be going through some spoilers again. If you haven't got through the game, pretty soon I think I'm going to stop warning about spoilers because we're a month in. I think most people have got as far as they want to in the game. Would you guys agree or disagree on that?
Yeah.
So
if not, they've already been spoiled by Twitch or YouTube or something. So it's time.
Or Reddit, which as much as we try to stop that, it still happens. Cool. So just I want to go around our normal co-host here real quick, just get its frame of reference where we're talking from. What have you completed so far? And we got a little bit of updates. So Ariel, where are you at? What have you done?
So I haven't quite hit HR 100 yet. I'm very close.
Okay.
But what I did just earlier today, actually, was I finally made every greatsword.
Wow.
It was
Nice.
it was an endeavor, but I managed to do it.
Sounds like it. Jeez.
Yeah, I'm a completist. I need goals. I need even if they're set like, self by myself, I need them.
No, it's fun to do.
So how many Xenos did you have to hunt to finish that collection?
I may have hunted, I'm not on right now, but maybe at least 10.
Okay, that's not too terrible then.
It was what was tough? The Basil's my least favorite fight in the whole game. So
I agree with you.
gosh, it's literally the worst. I hate that thing. So that was my big struggle, and I kept just hopping into SOSs to do it. Because that means that they're a little further into the fight than I am, So I was like, if I can shave 3 minutes off every single Basil fight and maybe rock a tiptoe jewels, then it's not a bad fight. Tiptoe jewels in a gun. So that's the only fight I use a gun is the Basil.
I might have to steal that idea. I still have to finish mine.
Yeah, it's
Oh my goodness.
he's the worst. Him and I don't know. There's a lot of monsters that are just not great, but I'm excited for the Devil Joe to come back so I could be frustrated with him.
Oh yeah. So Loborin, how far have you gotten so far?
So I have taken a slight break, but I'm currently trying to do the double. Almost said frenzied. That's not the right word. I almost said apex. That's also not the right word. Double tempered Basilgeist quest. I'm stuck on that quest. I've tried about 5 times, each time getting insta-gibbed, no matter what weapon I'm using. So I'm just taking a little break to reevaluate my life and then go back into it.
maybe I'll need to hop on with my Legiana gun and help you out there.
I would
I
appreciate
don't
that.
mind helping. We can all do it. We'll do a special help Loborin get past the double basil stream.
Hey. I like
Literally the worst fight in the game. I hate
Yeah.
it so much.
And I beat the Master's Quest back in 4U with, all the crazy stuff in one tiny arena. And I liked that more than the Double Basil Quest.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just real quick, Arctic, I know we're going to get more in depth into what you've done and how you feel about it, but what is the last milestone you've hit?
Right now, me and Loborin are actually in the same spot.
Oh, okay.
All right.
So you guys have been hunting together?
maybe we'll need to do two. We'll do the two of you and the two of us.
That
Yeah.
sounds
Nice
great.
Hunters Hub collab.
Yep. I can stream it for like one of the few times I've actually streamed when I said I was going to.
Sounds like a plan.
Nice. So for me, just for some context, last night I finished the last quest that you can do.
Oh,
I did the HR 100, the Tempered, Nergigante, Kushala Deora, and Teostra
Oh,
in 2 attempts, and I did it solo.
wow.
Very nice.
Were you using your longsword, or were you back to your old reliable charge blade?
On that, real quick, I am starting to relearn to love the charge blade.
Hey.
Aside from that, I'm still maining longsword. I like it more.
Okay.
I used the final upgrade of the Nergigante longsword for the high Elder Seal.
Yeah,
so-
smart. That's the smart.
That makes sense.
That or the Valhazic one are really good, I think.
Yeah, I don't have enough fangs for that one.
I don't think
Oh,
you'll
dude,
ever
that
have
was
enough
the
fangs.
struggle.
Yeah, it's Valhazic and Anjanath fangs are like the rarest items in the game.
Because you have to to break the Elder Dragon parts. It's better to do it solo.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Oh yeah, because the
Well-
break point goes up so much.
Yeah.
I made the mistake of flaring the first time, and it was the most frustrating experience I've had in Monster Hunter World so far, because it was a one guy who came in from the SOS, and he literally did nothing. He
Ugh.
actually followed me around and didn't fight. He just carded once. He never even undrew his light bow gun.
Oh my
So-
gosh.
He literally made the quest harder for no reason.
Guy looking to be carried, I guess. Wow.
Yeah, so I was just like, you know what? No, I'm going to do this by myself, and I double carted before I even got to Nergigante, which is the third one you fight.
Oh wow.
And I was like, I'm going to do this, and I did it, and I was like, it was way too late. I should not have been up that late because
Oh, I know the feeling.
and I mean, it's not as bad as it has been for me. I was staying up till 3, but I had to be somewhere today. So but I made it through. So that's just a little context of where we're at and what we've done. For me right now, in the future, it's crown hunting
That's gonna be tough.
again. Yeah, I'm up to Puke. If you go down to Hunter's List, I'm down to Puke.
I
Okay.
think that's kind of nice doing them in order. That means it's just going to get harder and harder as you go on.
Yeah, I'm thinking about doing a little out of order so I can just knock out the ones that can't be tempered first, and then just do the tempered ones
Okay.
to sort of do that end game grind. But anyways, so let's get to the focus of our show, Arctic. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I am 30 years old, and I'm still a hardcore gamer. I thought maybe by 30 might be taking a break, but Monster Hunter came along and renewed that passion.
Nice, nice.
I am 30 and I have never put them down, and people will have to kill me to stop playing games. We kind of get into like a lot of times what we like to do with people coming on. We talk about like your first experience with Monster Hunter, where'd you get into that, and of course we're going to get into it. But just initially, what are your favorite 3 monsters and your weapon that you've been maining?
Okay. I've definitely been maining the Hunter Horn. And
Nice.
Oh, okay.
As far as Yeah, I know. Everyone's like, "What weapon is that?" Or even worse, sometimes they might be a bit like, um, "Oh, is he playing the bagpipes or the greatsword? Or no, that's a hammer." And they just don't know. And as
Yeah.
far as mechanics wise, it definitely is interesting, but it's also very intriguing. And for the supports out there, or even the tanks, I strongly recommend it.
Okay.
As far
For
as
sure.
monster, I've talked with Loborin about it, and we have similar tastes on as far as which are our favorites. But I do gotta say, Legiana,
Okay.
Odogaron, and then either Tobi Kadachi or Nergigante himself.
Nice.
All right.
You're gonna love the
Really?
Tigrex when it comes out.
Wait, is Tigrex actually confirmed to come out?
No, but
Oh,
I
they
mean,
can't not have it out. You know,
true.
yeah,
it's
yeah. I
classic.
mean, especially with that For You intro. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
Or is it Fours? No, that's Fours
it was.
intro, right?
It was in for you as well.
Well, it was in For You, but For You's intro was the Diablos, and Four was the Tigrex, I think.
I have no
Okay, you
recollection.
could. Either
of
way, I
such
remember you
things.
could see both. But I didn't know you actually liked Nergigante.
Oh yeah,
So,
Oh,
he's
snap.
out of all their elder dragons, he definitely poses one of the most ferocious threats.
yeah, I do see a lot of people die to his dive bomb constantly.
Like Kushala can be a bit divisive, as well as Teostra, but Nergigante, he has a temper, and he's not one to be messed with.
I mean, you might call Teostra has an explosive temper.
Ooh.
We'll just get right into it. So is it Loborin that got you into Monster Hunter, or how did you get into it?
It is a combination of efforts from friends, and
Okay.
Loborin is definitely very encouraging of just try it out, and he's very coercive and very come on, just try it, and
You can use the word pushy. It's okay.
it's almost like a kid with vegetables, but in the
Mm-hmm.
sense of other friends have helped out, and it took finally um, one friend passing that he was playing a hunty horn, and it was Mark Martinez, lame, and he used to work at Spawn Point Gaming Lounge. I
Yeah.
can't remember the name.
It was Gamers Lounge.
And we all used to work there, and because
Mhm.
he passed, they had talked about it, and he was just a great guy. So I'm doing it to live on his legacy.
That's cool, man.
I mean, it's a really good reason to get into Monster Hunter.
Thank you.
It's a lot better than mine. Wow, look at that dragon.
The dragon in this box looks awesome.
Yeah.
I'm gonna reveal my nerdiness. I knew before they even said it in the game. That's not a dragon. That's a wyvern.
True.
Yeah, awesome. So is a little bit of sort of a. There's obviously a lot of games that lead to other games and that kind of stuff. And we're not going to ask you through your whole gaming history, but what kind of games do you feel like sort of prepped you for Monster Hunter, or just games you felt are similar?
One big striking one is Fantasy Star Online, and there was a lot of things similar to it. The big differences are the carving, of course, and the drop rates. As far as similarities, the Great Jagras resembles the Dodogorama as far as body wise, but as far as fighting mechanics, they do make them drastically different. But there is the dash and then the rollover attack, and then the swelling of the stomach. And in Phantasy Star Online, they had different variants of the same monsters. But as far as different characters, different roles, and different weapons to use, and being able to party in groups of four, it's very similar.
Yeah, I never even considered that game. I play that a lot. The thing is, it's been so long. My brain is cloudy on it. I was like, you're talking about a similar monster, and I'm just like, nope, don't know. I just remember the one in the sewer.
I mean, that's a pretty old game for you to really harken back to. But like thinking back, there are certain similarities, but it's not nothing I really would have. I really would have connected. You know, the number one answer that everyone says it's Monster Hunter's Dark Souls, but yeah, that's an interesting one.
It's hard for me to say Monster Hunter is Dark Souls because I was into Monster Hunter way before Demon Souls came out,
Yeah,
and I
same.
loved Demon Souls, but I cannot get into Dark Souls. There's I'm not the person that's into crazy difficulty. It's just not.
Agreed. Agreed.
One you had actually reminded me of the other day, because we brought this up a while back too, I think, was games that remind us of Monster Hunter, was Terra, that MMO.
Yes.
In terms of, like, as you fought, you had to time your attacks, and you had to time, like, you had to actually pay attention to the monster to guard. It's not like World of Warcraft where you just, sat and still and did your rotations. You actually had tells, and attacks took time, and you had to run around and jump and dodge and stuff. And it's still MMO-y, so it's not like full Monster Hunter action, but it was pretty close. And it kind of reminded me of it.
See, with Phantasy Star Online, they still have a recent game that came out, and that was Phantasy Star Universe 2. And I was playing that one. It's not released in the US, but I was playing it through, like, not a mod, but they edited it through, like, a English translation on the side. And hopefully it comes out to Switch or PS Vita.
It'd be cool. Phantasy Star is a beloved series by many people.
Yeah, I played it back on the GameCube, but I don't remember much of it.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's fine. That's all I meant to say.
Well, yeah, they definitely stepped it up, and it's pretty wonderful, and it's free to play. So you don't have to pay for the initial box or service, and if you want to pay for additional stuff, it's mostly cosmetics.
That's good.
Yeah,
I mean, that's how it should be.
Agreed.
Sounds pretty modern.
Tell you what, I was looking at screenshots real fast. The map looks very similar to old Monster Hunter style map, and the aesthetics look very similar to the old Monster Hunter style PS2 graphics.
And I believe it's made by Sega, and Capcom made Monster Hunter back on, like, PS2.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I guess it's from the same era technically.
So it was almost like competitors.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know if you've heard this article. I've said this a couple times, but Monster Hunter is part of Capcom's big project in the corporate offices to be like, hey, we figured out you can play games on the internet. What kind of games would you make? And that's how we got Monster Hunter. And Resident Evil Outbreak. Which I will say is my favorite Resident Evil ever, and I never even owned it. It was so cool. Well, that's cool. I mean, like, again, I never would have made that connection with Phantasy Star. I just remember Phantasy Star as the light MMO I played with some friends on my GameCube that we all had lightsabers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's different. So now that you're here, now that you're being a hunter and at least pseudo involved in the community, what are your initial thoughts on Monster Hunter?
It's great. I know it's come a long way, and I've kept up with it here and there. It's always been just right outside of my comfort zone. And now that it's come to console, it's much easier to access. I did play it on the 3DS, and it was, yeah.
I mean, it didn't help us how you were introduced to it back then. We actually covered that back on, like, one of the first episodes I was in, which was how to properly introduce somebody to Monster Hunter. And I kind of used your case as a don't do this if you want to get someone into the game.
Agreed.
Yeah, it's tough. The DS versions are tough.
Did you want to talk about that? Like, how you, the first time you tried it?
Sure. I was trying to read up on it, and do it on my own. And we were hosting D&D, but unfortunately, one friend was a bit vigorous on trying to get me to play, and so he rushed me into it. And all I remember is just being yelled, "Why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing that? Dodge, roll, use this item," and it's so overwhelming. Yeah, you definitely gotta take your steps up there.
Reminds me of dodgeball. Dodge, duck, dip, dodge, dodge.
5 Ds.
I did not dodge the wrench.
That's why this, like, when you tried this one, I was just like, I'm gonna not say anything. I'm just gonna let it happen.
Yeah. If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a monster.
I mean,
If that wrench is Grey Jagras.
I'd call the wrench. I don't know. It's hard to find. I don't know. I'd call the wrench Kula Yaku. That thing still manages to hit me. I killed over 100 of them, and he can still hit me all the time. I don't know what it is.
I think because people, maybe if you've fought a ton, but I have trouble with the lower monsters after not fighting them for a long time. You just forget what they're like.
Oh yeah, I got killed by a Toby the other day because he did his like jump off the tree, land spinny thing, and I didn't see it coming. It just dead, and I was like, oh, that's right, you can do that. Gonna pretend this didn't happen.
No, Toby. When you start fighting tempered Tobies, that thing is legit.
Yeah,
that thing.
Yeah, he hits like a truck.
That thing will 80% you
Ugh.
with that move you're talking about, and 80% as in I am wearing fully upgraded and not pre-augmentation. I've augmented my armor to breach the level cap. I am fully maxed out on armor. Like we're talking like 450 armor rating, and that thing will still be very dangerously close to killing me from 150 health.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah, that is a Toby is no joke. The only joke I find is Grey Jagras.
Yeah. I've seen people kill him on accident because he wandered into another hunt, and they just kept cleaving him, and he died during the fight.
I just imagined the wah wah wah. Oh, Jagras.
So, what else for suppression? Anything else that was like came to mind, like as of?
No, I know you and I discussed it.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of improvements, and I was like, "Oh, that's nifty. Did they start doing that?" And you were like, "Yeah, that actually is new." And a lot of the new features made it easy accessible for new beginners and just people starting off, period, to really enjoy the game. And for example, the whetstone, you had to bring multiple.
Yeah, you had to bring them, and if you forgot it, you just couldn't finish a hunt.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Well,
that's
and the
one
fact
plus.
that you can forget things now and go back and get them.
For real, that's a
Yes.
godsend. We talked about that a few
Yes.
weeks ago.
I remember in 4U, leave on a capture quest, look at my inventory, see no trank bombs. It's like, well, I guess I have to abandon and come back.
Exactly.
Even if that was the case, most maps you can make trank bombs now.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Huh.
Yeah. It's like the auto crafting skill is so good because I'm running low on tranks. Here's some mushrooms, here's some herbs, put them together. What do you got? Trank bombs.
It is also much better because I used to have like a sticky note that had like a shopping list of things to pay attention to, and now that I can just pick stuff up and it auto makes it, I don't do that anymore.
Oh man, I am so glad to be away from the spreadsheets. Thank you.
So I do have a question for you. Because you mentioned it feels a lot more accessible to new people, do you think it's too easy? And I just asked that because a lot of people, when this first came out, people were saying, oh, the game's way too easy. They dumbed it down for normies, all that stuff.
I don't have much to compare it to as far as with the other games, but as far as it reminds me of, how should I say it? It's
Don't
a
say
great,
Dark Souls.
it's a great stepping stone. And as far as the difficulty being there, it's in the late game, and it reminds me of like an MMO, where you do the raids and you have to be very calculated, have your strategy set up, and everybody knows what needs to be done. And it does a great job of walking you up to there. And even with the guild marm, the handler, I mean, she was annoying at first, but for a beginner, she's helpful.
Yeah, and they really get with the hunter's notes and stuff. It's really helpful, and they give you an opportunity to be better at the game than no other Monster Hunter has done before, and they really made it accessible, which I think was their of course their main objective in this one, because they want the sales, they want the popularity. But you know, I'm glad.
Yeah, especially for its big comeback to the consoles. So I imagine the next one they do, they're going to be like, okay, you guys have had your nice, new, easy, accessible taste.
Yeah.
Let's put some hard stuff, like, let's beef it up a bit with the next one.
Or even when if they introduce G rank, which I think they will, they'll just be like, all right, guys, you thought that was endgame. This is endgame, this is gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Tempered
For someone,
Apex Teostra.
so for someone like me who has literally finished the last quest they have to offer, and literally it's just whatever I want to do, whatever weapons I want to improve. There's no point. I've done the hardest thing, but I'm still enjoying stuff like crown farming and that kind of stuff. And I would say if I really like a game on PlayStation, I am going to platinum it. And I'm on my way to platinuming it, because the crown hunting, it's just, beating your head against 7,000 pukes. It's just, although the event quests help. If you guys aren't aware, there's event quests where you fight 5 monsters on a map, and those event quests have a high chance of being gold crowns, small and large. So
I did get like 4 crowns the first time I did it, so yeah.
Yeah, the one that is currently out is Wildspire Waste, which has a Kulayaku, a Baroth, a Juritatis, a Rathian, and a Diablos. And doing this quest, I have gold crowned small and large, everything but a large Diablos. And even then, I have seen the large Diablos, but he is actually so large I literally could not dodge him, and I triple carded.
Oh jeez.
Wow.
Yeah, he's tough. He's tough.
You gotta start experimenting with something with a shield.
Or just learning how to counter better.
Oh yeah, that's right. Longsword has its thing, doesn't it?
Yeah. Or run, just a scaredy cat.
Hey man, Diablos, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
That's Diablos, Necrogante. You gotta be safe.
Yep. Be safe, kids. Put your weapons away.
So, Arctic, are there any other games you think that have really prepared you for this? I mean, I've got a couple that come to mind, even.
What are some of yours?
Well, this one's old school, but in terms of difficulty, it was the Monster Hunter reminded me of Ninja Gaiden.
Yes.
And it was like this is like no this game, it's a melee. You're using melee weapons, and it's completely unforgiving. Especially when you get to G rank, where it's literally like you might as well be doing a naked run for some of those monsters, because it's just, if you get hit, you're done. So, and Ninja Gaiden is often acknowledged and voted on as the most difficult game ever. Sometimes so.
Mm-hmm.
And while I don't think Monster Hunter is that, at its peak, at its highest difficulty, it's the hardest game I've ever played.
Are you referring to Sigma?
I don't. It's the one on the original Xbox.
Okay, because they also released harder versions of it.
Yeah, I don't remember, but it was
That
not.
sounds awful.
It was not
Made it
fun.
harder.
We found people's hands weren't bleeding after this one, so we made a hard version.
I have a Ninja Gaiden story if you guys want to hear it.
Sure.
So I had it on. Was it on PS2 also? I think.
I don't.
I know PS3, but that was Sigma.
There was some Ninja Gaiden. All I know is there was a helicopter. Was the first boss fight. Giant helicopter. You had to dodge things. In the second level, you're in a subway, and there's dogs that have like freaking armored fronts. You can only hit them from the back,
Sheesh.
and it was like, I don't know. It was a really difficult, but it was a Ninja Gaiden of some sort, and I didn't have an Xbox, but it was around that time. So something on PS2 that was something like Ninja Gaiden. Maybe I'm wrong, but I do remember I'm fighting like the second boss, and it's like the hardest thing I have ever faced in my life, right? And I'm already angry at this boss, but I have this other friend of mine talking to me about some girl that he likes and realizing it's the same girl that I like. And
As you're
almost like
fighting a boss.
as I'm fighting this most difficult boss ever. It was like the boiling point of me being 15. I was just like, nah.
Man, that's just extra stress that you didn't need in that moment.
Oh man. That was the only time I ever snapped at him.
I thought of a game that kind of had me prepared for this at first, and this was back when I first picked up Monster Hunter for you. Vaguely around that timeline, I'd been playing almost said Dark Souls, Dark Stalker games. I don't
I'm
know if you
actually
ever
not
played
familiar
those.
with those.
They're
Yeah.
pretty good. You played as War or the other one. They're two of the Horsemen of the Apocalypse in Darkstalkers 1 and 2.
Oh, Darksiders.
Darksiders? Wrong
Yeah.
game, sorry.
Okay, it was like, hold on, War.
Darkstalkers.
That sounded like
War game.
Darksiders.
Okay, so yeah.
Rest in peace, THQ.
Oh, did they? That's right, they did die, didn't they?
Well,
was-
now they're THQ Nordic, but yeah.
But yeah, those games prepared me a little bit because in the beginning, before you get like a lot of crazy stuff, there's some pretty hard fights that again is very like telegraphed movesets. So you have to learn how to punish openings and not get too greedy. Because if you get too greedy while playing the second one, you die. Just you're made of paper in the second one, so you just died. And it kind of helped me prepare for that. More so than the other games I was playing at the time.
What really helped me, I think, was back on the PS2 in like good old 2005 was Kingdom Hearts, the arena or the what do you call it, the boss
Coliseum?
fights in
You know, like Cerebus and the Sand guy.
right, like
yeah.
Cerebus, the Ice Titan, the Rock Titan, and of course the one that I think prepared me most for these high stress situations is good old Sephiroth. I constantly remember
Very
like hit and run, recognize which move is gonna kill you, doing your heal as quick as you can, like things like that are really just that game that was one of the hardest bosses I've ever fought, and I grinded till I hit level 70, so I was able to finally do it.
Oh, yeah. And if you overcommit to a combo versus him, you just die.
Right, and there's the move, the Sin Harvest move that puts you down to 1 HP. So that like things like that, it really incredible boss fights are what prepare you for this game, because the end game is literally just incredible boss fights all the time. They give you none of the fluff and all of the difficulty and fun of it. So I think Sephiroth, shout out to Sephiroth, to Cerberus, and to the Titans of old for helping me with my favorite game series.
Agreed.
Yeah.
When it comes down to the frames, that's when it's no longer the game. It's just the math.
Yeah.
How many iframes do I have to dodge this move?
Yeah, it's some straight up fighting game stuff right there.
Yeah.
For real. That's next level.
Wave dash.
So my two games that sort of three actually that sort of prepared me for Monster Hunter, and hear me out, I have reasonings for them, but they're kind of weird. So the first one I would say ties into the co-op end of Monster Hunter, because as of now and back then I was typically in a 3 to 4 hunting party, and I saw it as the ultimate co-op game at the time. And that was Doom 2 specifically, because the co-op mode in Doom 2 was literally, can we get to the end against this just horde of monsters? So you were planning and divvying resources between each other, trying not to die, even though, I mean, if you died, it didn't really hurt anything in Doom, like you didn't have lives or anything, but I mean, it did suck going from a rocket launcher, a double-barreled shotgun, and a plasma rifle down to the pea shooter pistol. So every time you died. So the sort of like heavy co-op and planning that went into playing Doom together sort of bled into Monster Hunter for me.
That sounds a lot like
really...
if you're playing Halo co-op and you have horrible accuracy, and you get down to the plasma pistol and melee, and maybe you can punch your way out of the mission.
Yeah. Guerrilla tactics.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of how Doom goes if you die. It's the punishment. You lose all your stuff. So,
Right.
So that was sort of what prepared me for, like, hey, I want to go through this co-op experience. And then the loot grind of, like, oh, I need the plates, specifically in that day and age, was Diablo 2. Because getting, your build items was a grind. How many times can you kill Bale before before you get, the items you need? So I kind of got into, like, sort of loot grindy games and weapon stats and that kind of stuff. And one of the things that frustrated me about Diablo 1 especially, and then further on Diablo 2, it sounds weird, but don't lie, people, you're all into it, is dressing up your character in different armor. Don't even try to deny it, because like I would be so frustrated. I put on this armor and now I look like this, and it's like, cool, but I put on these different gloves and it didn't show. Like, I want to see the different gloves. They made them different. Why doesn't it look different? So Monster Hunter was the first game I was like, oh, my feet changed when I put on the boots.
So I have a little bit of a confession about fashion in games. I don't remember which expansion it was, sue me. World of Warcraft. One of the expansions, they came out with the ability to transmog your armor. And that was the thing I was most excited about over all the other features of this new expansion. It was, I can wear whatever armor I want.
Yeah.
So I definitely understand. I love any game that when you put on armor, it changes the look of your character.
Yeah. To me, that was like the ultimate, like, we are there, guys. Games are awesome. But the third one, and this one isn't as surprising, but no one's mentioned it so a lot, is just before I started playing Monster Hunter, I was playing Shadow of Colossus.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
that's a big one. And the remake's coming out, HD.
Yeah, I played the other remake, and I'm fine. What do they call it? The HD remaster
I had the
or
other
something?
remake, and I didn't even finish it. So
Yeah, same here. I love it. My wife loves that game even, and we're just like, yeah, I'm gonna play more Diablo, or I'm gonna play more Monster Hunter. Like, it's a great game, but I think it's one of those games that has like hey, it was fun to remember, but I beat it once. It's good.
that said, if you have time, next time you go, if you ever decide to hunt Zoro Magdaros again, turn off the in-game music and turn on the Monster Hunter music that comes on when you're fighting a monster. The da 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 da. It fits very well with Zoro Magdaros.
Did you actually try that, or just a thought?
I haven't tried it yet, but I saw a YouTube video where somebody did that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I could see that.
It might have been Donkey. Donkey finally did a Monster Hunter video, and he actually beat the game. So.
Oh yeah. Oh well, I mean, according to Donkey, he's been a fan of the series. It's hard to make content on.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, there's a lot of YouTubers that are fans of the series that don't really get to do much with it. I mean, The Completionist is one. If you ever look on his intro, Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate is on his shelf for every intro.
Yeah. Oh, just speaking of quick YouTuber things, Zero Punctuation did another review of the Monster Hunter game after he just critically destroyed Try and then refused to touch another one. He gave Worlds another try, and he liked it a lot more. So that's kind of good.
Nice. Yeah, I used to follow him quite closely. Now I don't. But cool. So moving on from there, unless anyone else has some more games to throw at the pile of what got us into Monster Hunter.
Bloodborne.
Hey, don't make me cut this, all right? Oh man. So moving on from there, we'll just get on to the critical stuff. What would you change, Arctic?
Well, there's not really a lot that I would change. Um,
Okay.
Everything's pretty great, and as far as once again lacking that comparison to other games, I really can't. I really can't say anything bad. Um,
Okay.
I'm scouring for it, and nothing. It's just really great so far. It really is. I think they did a well-rounded job of bringing everything around full circle.
I do want to point out that I know you guys are just getting into the tempered stuff with Beetlejuice, double Beetlejuice, but the tempered monsters, I think they finally figured out a way to do endgame monsters without having to create new ones. Like, that's me clapping for Capcom. You figured it out.
Yeah, it was much better than Apex monsters. I hated. Oh, is your Rystone turned on? And no. All right. Well, you just can't hit the monster for the next 3 minutes while it recharges.
Oh man.
For You is great. It's the one I played the most, and it's a great game. But the end game is just horrible.
Yeah, I mean, Ystones are kind of like, imagine if you had whetstones that you can only use once every 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then that whetstone wears off in 7 minutes.
Wow.
And that's what you needed to be able to even hit the monster. Ah,
Just
jeez,
sounds awful.
It was.
I remember specifically screaming at a monster, just bouncing a great sword off its face over and over, because it was the third Rystone in a row that I didn't do enough damage to break it out of its apex state. So I was just so angry. That made me quit the game for a month.
Oh man, yeah, I've taken breaks too, especially in the 3DS days. Like, what was it? There was a quest that you're in the tower and it's a gold Rathian and a silver Rathalos.
Yeah.
It's like the introduction to G rank or something like that for you, or something. It's early in G rank or something. And I was just like, I can't. And then like, me, I've been a moderator of the sub for so long. It's like when I quit, I never really quit because I'm still doing moderation stuff on the sub and on it every day. So I was like, I guess I'll get back into it.
I remember that quest. That quest was the point of, have you learned how to use smoke bombs and flash bombs yet? No. Well, it's time you learn right now.
Guess what? I still didn't use them.
Really?
Yep.
Oh.
It's so hard for me to use items. Although I've got so much better at using items now. I now carry, with Elder Dragons, I carry 10 flash bugs and the flash pods.
Hey, making progress.
Yeah, and bombs. I love bombs now. I slot the bomber skill into anything I have open. Critical jewels, who needs them? Bombs.
No, they're very helpful, especially for the Elder Dragons. You get such a huge chunk, and the Kashala even you can start off hitting him with the bombs.
Yeah, I remember when I
when
hunted
he's
with
in
you
that
guys,
pose.
you yelled at me, like, wait for him to sit down. And then the second he sat down, we all ran up kamikaze style with bombs.
Yeah. Well, that was my friend. He's the one that keeps wanting to bomb him at the start. I just want to start the fight with Kushala and wait for him to go to sleep and then bomb him, but whatever.
So, I do have a question. Being that you don't have the nostalgia that everybody's like, oh my gosh, it's this monster, oh my gosh, blah, blah, blah. Is there anything that feels out of place that you think maybe have been shoehorned in to just kind of like, oh, we put him in there because people want him, but really he could just kind of, they could have just sat out, or some mechanic that really didn't feel like it was there?
I would say Kushala Deora, and I would say Teostra. And it's nothing offensive to the elders. It's just I do feel they might be a bit outdated, and it's more along the lines of they're not hard to fight. They just tend to have some gimmicks that make it difficult to get around. And it's like, okay, you're gonna explode. Like, all right, that's a great one. But as far as Kushala, it was more of like, oh, here's wind, here's wind, here's wind. It's just gonna be in the way, and it kind of reminds me of having to deal with like Steam and games where they're just like traps, and it's like, why is this in the game? Like, this doesn't belong here.
That's interesting. Yeah, I don't find Teostra's patterns, and especially Kushala. If you've mastered Kushala and you know when exactly to flash him, he's the easiest Elder Dragon. But compared to Nergigante and even Kieran, who provides such unique challenges,
they changed Kieran so much.
Yeah, for real.
I can't wait to fight Tempered.
But yeah, you're right. It is interesting that once you get past their gimmicks, they aren't particularly difficult to fight. Like, there's not like Diablos, Nergigante, the tougher monsters. So that is interesting from a newcomer's perspective.
This is funny because they are very changed, both of them.
Yes, Teostra, I think especially.
I don't know. To me, Teostra still does this fire wave thing. He still, charges at you and just kind of runs towards you. This is from a gunner's perspective because I remember having to run away from him, his fire wave thing. I don't see many new moves from Teostra. He's actually missing some of his old moves. I miss his little slam attack where then he wafted the explosive gas towards you. That's gone. That doesn't exist anymore. Same thing with when he slammed his tail down.
It for G-Rank.
I know. But same thing when they slammed his tail down and he whooshed the explosives towards you. Like, those moves are gone. And then, I don't know, Kushala really feels the same. Big tornado, dive at you, big tornado.
No, I think Kushala is extremely different. The difference is that Kushala, it used to be the tornadoes were these dangerous entities that sort of swirled around the map. Now they're sort of zoning pillars in the ground. They don't move anymore, and they're like, you can't get near them unless you have windproof. But I mean,
didn't notice that they don't move anymore, actually.
Yeah, they don't move. So it's like, it's sort of like, some of the action games where the sort of like, the one that reminds me the most is Crash Bandicoot, where the floor falls down. And, I can't jump there anymore.
Right.
Like, that's kind of how that fight feels now. It's like, oh, okay, he's zoning me. The same with Kieran is like he zones at different areas. And I think that's kind of unique for Monster Hunter. A lot of times it's read the attack, go. This time it's read the attack, don't stand here.
I just don't think that... I agree that is more interesting. I just don't think that the tornado's punishing enough to make it...
Yeah, I remember if you're not paying attention, a tornado sneaking up behind you and killing you. And for you. That's what I remember. And to me, Nukushala is just like, all right, can I hit you yet? Can I hit you yet? Please
That's
come.
True. And I think to a more experienced hunter, the stationary wind tunnels are easier to deal with for sure. But what they do punish is getting aggressive, or overly aggressive, as I'll say.
Yeah, that's true.
So
Right.
they punish you bad timing for flashing. Because if you just flash him as soon as he goes up in the air and he hasn't popped out of his tornado, you can basically hit part of the head and tip of the tail.
There's so many comics on the subreddit of that particular thing of just like trying to make like visual guides of like wait till he leaves the tornado before flashing. So apparently that happens a lot.
Yeah, I think I've left the sweet spot of experienced hunters. There was a time where I would SOS and everything would be hunky-dory and we would take it down, and SOS just meant I was going to have a better hunt time. That's not the case anymore.
I think it's because the more experienced hunters are finally starting to do the squad stuff.
Yeah, or something, because I'm now over HR 100. I'm 101. Woo! But it's so much bigger, right? But HR 101, and I've stopped playing with other people unless it's in squads or in friend lists, because when I SOS I get leechers and I get people who are legitimately just bad. And I'm like, that this wasn't happening before. What's now? Like, what's going on now? So I don't know. I've kind of slipped back into playing on my own.
That did happen the second time I fought Xeno'jiva. I was like, okay, I beat him my soul the first time. I'll just do it myself now, and I'll do it with people now. And I SOS, some guy ran in, died twice instantly, then left the party, and then somebody else died right after. It's like, oh, okay, guys, never mind.
Yeah, that happened to me with a tempered Kieran. So I had an investigation for a tempered Kieran.
Aw.
And literally the only modifier on this was double money. It was just an extra money tempered. And I was like, this is awesome. You know what? I'm gonna
Share my bounty.
yeah, I'm gonna share. I'm gonna post an SOS. Heck, I'm even gonna voucher this thing. Some guy comes in and he was a bow user, and I mean, like, I was like, are you stupid? Like, what is going on? Because, like, Kieran is doing the attack that one of the biggest lead-up attacks he has, and it's not even that hard to dodge. It's when he does the giant circle of lightning in front of him,
Oh yeah.
and the guy is standing in the middle of it, pecking away at the bow, like. And I'm not even like, oh, he's just, too involved in the shot or something and he ran out of stamina. He wasn't even charging his shot. He was just spamming the shot with no stamina charge. Just standing in that spot. And I'm like, what is going on? He faints, right? And then he comes in, and to his credit, he got kind of cheap shot. He jumped off a cliff and he got hit in midair and died immediately. Like, that's just bad luck. He just Mr. Magooed into it. But then he left, and then I was like, okay, cool. And then the other rando got killed. I was like, And then I didn't learn my lesson and immediately did it again with more randos, and they died. So
Sheesh.
I don't do Kierans with other people unless I personally know them now.
Yeah, Kieran's tough. Going back to, I guess, our main questions for Arctic. What are some opinions about the game that you heard prior that were either like confirmed or denied, or debunked? Is, I guess, the word I'm thinking of.
Sure. And that it does have a steep learning curve, and that if you don't like one weapon, just try another. Evidently, that didn't work for me. I like the challenge of the honey horn. But that was just one example. As far as other ones, other than it can be grindy, it can be tedious as far as hunting down certain items or materials that you need. I haven't ran into that issue yet. Knock on wood. But Loborin knocked on wood. But that's
Crown farming.
those are some things.
Yeah, crown farming. That's meant to be tedious, though. Only the really, really committed people would ever do that.
Hi, that's me.
Yeah.
260 hours in.
Oh, jeez.
So is there anything that people have told, like, where you were like, okay, you like took their advice, and then you went in and you find out it was just kind of a lie, like someone had prepped you for something, and you go in and you're like, no, it's not really that bad, or no, it's not really. I don't see where they were coming from.
This is not to put you on the spot.
Okay, it's fine. Call me up.
But being ranged, you were very like, careful, cautious with certain enemies, and being that I'm hunting horn, I'm like right there in the gooch.
Yeah.
So as far as like dodging the monsters, like there would be times when you would watch me play and you would be like, wow, you made that dodge. And like it was like Xeno'jiva and just some other monsters too. But that was it. And I was more kind of like skeptic and kind of like, is it really this hard? And then now that I put two and two together and having had some experience, I'm like, oh, okay, all right, yeah. But yeah, some of the monsters definitely Nergi and Kieran. Yeah, some of them are definitely like the threats, and don't take them lightly.
Yeah, whenever I watch you play, because I'm normally, the heavy bow gunner who is slow as hell and can't dodge with a tiny shield, and I see what you're doing. I'm like, ah!
You're
But as
gonna
hunting
die.
horn, it's also like I have this huge, I don't know, bassoon I'm bringing with me.
I really want a bassoon as a hunting horn now.
Like I know it's much harder to dodge with that as far as it's game wise, so I'm not gonna overthink it.
I think there was a bassoon. I'm not even lying. I think there was like a straight up like bassoon in one of the games.
Because I know there was a saxophone. It was in For You Generations. It was called the Fungus Sax, and it was a saxophone, and all the keys were little mushrooms, and it was cool.
Yeah, I remember at least it was a clarinet looking thing, which it's a bassoon is clarinet looking. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
Are you sure it was
yeah,
a fungi sax?
yeah, fungi sax.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, Fungus Sax. But yeah, I actually meant to ask that. What do you think of the weapon designs and the armor designs, like the variety or not variety, as some people like to complain about the hunting horn, since every hunt you've done is with a hunting horn.
Yeah. This is one of those I don't have prior experience, but as far as with yours, I do see that you've made the statement that I wish there was more like different weapons and more different varieties, and I think it might be just them trying it out for Monster Hunter Worlds because I haven't run across any glitches or any problems. Have you guys?
I have
Okay.
on Zora Magdaros specifically. I have fallen through him 3 times.
Oh wow.
Wow. I only saw a cool clip where somebody got like knocked through the Coral Highlands by a weird knockback.
Okay.
That's about it.
But then they just sort of wyvern you back in. They're like, "Whoa, are you okay?" And it's like, "Okay." I mean, they had a fail safe there. That's
Okay.
good.
Nice.
Oh, the video I saw, the guy like fell through the earth and was like looking up at the structure. I think it's just one of those freak coincidences because he got knocked back midair
Right.
with a glider mantle at the right angle. But I haven't really had any glitches on my end.
But
Yeah.
it's very well
Yeah.
polished.
The only visual glitch I have seen is I see it when Danny or when Arctic fights what's it called? When Arctic fights Xeno, and when he gets near the claws on occasion, like the bloom goes up to like 9,000. Everything is glowing. You're like, what is like even his armor starts to glow. It's like
That's normal.
Really?
That's normal.
All right. It's again, gunner. I killed him with a gun, so I didn't get close enough to him to notice that.
Yeah, it wasn't that you were going crazy that he was going to die or something. You do start to glow blue the same as him
All
for
right.
some reason. Cool. I don't know. I don't.
Oh, I do have one now. Less like what we would change, but like what would you like to see added? What improvements as like an outsider? Because all of us were like, oh, I want to see this old monster I loved. I want to see this. I want to see these old art designs. As somebody who's not nostalgia-y about it and everything like that, what do you want to see added to the game or brought over? Or any crossovers? Because that could happen.
That's actually one thing I'm looking forward to is all of the crossovers. I'm still waiting for the Mega Man one. I mean, it's my icon here on Discord, but I love Mega Man, and I can't wait for that one. As far as the Street Fighter one, is it true that you still need the save data to get it?
For now,
So
yeah.
far, yeah.
Okay.
I have a friend who does have the Street Fighter data, and we played that bear off. Oh my goodness, guys. That thing is gigantic.
Okay.
It, it is hard to make a size comparison, but so have you guys fought in the arena yet? Not the special arena for when you capture something, but the actual arena
Yeah.
where it has the
Yes.
gate that comes up. Okay, so you know when you start, right? It slants up, wooden slant up, and you can look across the arena.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
So you basically you see like 20, 30 feet up, just across the arena because you can't see the monster, right?
Yeah,
you
because
can't
you like
you can't
drop
see him.
down
He's
into
just
it.
because you have to drop down. You don't have to walk up the ramp to see Baroth. You see Baroth's face walking around.
Jeez.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, whoa, he is big. And I've started to get a little better at recognizing size of different monsters because, hey, ground farming, right? I've fought Rathians that you can't reach its head except if you do a high attack.
Yeah.
This Baroth put everything else to shame. I was like, dude, a Diablos would be like, I ain't turf waring that.
Dig.
Like, it was huge. It was a pushover, though. Kind of. I would say it went down pretty easily because I don't know if it's a low rank or high rank
It is
quest,
low rank,
but
I think.
yeah. But like it's an arena quest, right? So they give you the weapon and armor
Really?
to deal with it anyways.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't get to pick your gear. And I played the hammer against it, and I was just hitting his hands. Like, that's all I could do is hit his hands.
Well, that's
So-
kind of good because that's his only really decent weak spot.
Yeah, if you hit him in the ridge once the mud's gone with a hammer.
Okay.
His underbelly.
And his tail. His tail's a good weak spot.
Okay. But no, I think you can search it. You just have to get lucky and hopefully find a room and then hopefully click on it fast enough to beat other people.
Yeah, it's going to be a hot one.
Do we have the actual release of it yet or no? Because we were also waiting on Sakura, whatever her name
Sakura.
is. Sakura.
My favorite character in Marvel vs. Capcom 2, actually. Sakura.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay. But
I only have one favorite character from any Marvel vs. Capcom, and that's the Hunter, because I've never played any of them.
yeah.
Fair enough.
Okay.
But
Actually, that's not true. I played 3, and I played Spider-Man, and I sucked.
but yeah, do we have a date on those events yet or no?
Nope. All we know is the Street Fighter 1 with the exclusivity ends Thursday?
Okay.
Something like that? The first? Thursday or Friday?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have the Street Fighter ones. We have eventually the other side of I almost said Ark Survival. That is the wrong game featuring dinosaurs and survival.
Horizon,
yes.
Yes.
We have Horizon eventually coming. We have Mega Man.
28th.
Oh,
28th
28th? Okay.
is the Horizon.
Nice. And then what other ones would you... This is kind of open to everybody, including Arctic. What other collaborations would you like to see? Is there anything like you'd like be like, oh yeah, I'd like to see Capcom do this in a Monster Hunter game? Like ones that they could do now that we're back on PlayStation instead of Nintendo, because obviously we can't have our Mario and Luigi cats anymore, but maybe we can have something else.
Bowser.
This is tough. Maybe some Kratos dual blades.
That'd be pretty cool, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see.
And a greatsword. The Odyssey. What is it? It starts with an O. That's the greatsword he uses.
Oh yeah, plus
Also,
the new one's coming out too. So
Yeah.
also the Dante from Devil May Cry. I don't know if you'd make that probably a longsword actually. So that'd be really cool. There's so many great characters in, and that's Capcom as well. I think.
I want a proper Dante crossover because we had one in For You, but it was an outfit for the cat. It's like, come on, you
That was
have
frustrating.
the cool hair, the badass sword, and his cool long coat, and you're gonna give it to the cat? Really? Thanks, guys.
I mean, Mario and Luigi were cats, and it was awesome.
yeah,
Well,
I mean, it
I think
worked for
that's
them.
different. Yeah.
Seeing a hunter in a Mario outfit would be weird.
I
Use a
think
hammer.
Phoenix Wright.
Phoenix,
That'd be
right?
fun. That'd be quirky.
Okay.
That'd be the cat probably.
There you go.
Yeah, I do have one idea actually, and this is one in that realm of fantasy. If we ever do get a Monster Hunter on Switch, you can have Cappy from Mario Odyssey as a DLC hat,
Ooh, yeah.
as a crossover hat. I don't know what it would give you, but maybe Marathon Runner or like one of the Insect Glaive jumpy skills, Mario stuff. But I think that'd be fun.
Okay.
What about you, Fort? What would you want to put in?
I'm trying to think.
Because I'm thinking about
See,
just
I'm
what's
not
coming
a
out on
big
PS4 soon.
Yeah, I'm not a big PlayStation guy. I'm more of a Nintendo
would think
guy.
Okami.
And then, okay,
Yeah.
What one?
Okami.
Yeah. That'd be-
beautiful art dog.
I think
Yeah.
last time we had a cat outfit for that one.
Or even Beautiful Joe.
Yeah, there actually was a Okami content. There actually was an official Okami crossover.
Nice.
I'm trying to think. I'm coming up.
Shadow of the
Yeah.
Colossus, I think, would be a decent one. Because they have those full body cosmetic ones like we have with the Samurai and we're going to have from Horizon, where it's not like individual armor pieces. If they want to just keep doing full body suits, give us main character from Shadow of the Colossus. Did he have a name?
Oh, I have no
You know
idea.
what? I'm gonna go pie in the sky here, and I was gonna say my two other favorite game series, Doom and Diablo.
If I could
Have-
have a
have the
Doom Space Marine outfit in Monster
Yep.
Hunter with my heavy bow gun,
Yep.
I would be so
The-
happy.
Let's do the full-on green suit Space Marine. Let's do. You know how they did like the Attack on Titan Devil Joe?
Yeah.
Let's make a Cyber Demon Devil Joe
I was going to
And,
say a Red Diablos.
or Red Diablos. Yeah. That's good for Diablo too. Well, I mean, as some people know, the current icon is my little fan art of a Diablo with a Doom Cyber Demon aesthetic and a Diablo Soul Stone stuck in its forehead. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't really have any other ideas other than things I like. I don't think those would make sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because there's always the argument of would it fit in the game world, but yeah, I don't care about fitting in the game world. I want a Doom Space Marine armor.
It is pretty darn iconic. Like, people would argue that the Spartan 4 or whatever he is, the armor that Master Chief is, would be more iconic, but that thing is straight up inspired by the Doom Marine. Don't even try to lie.
I don't know. We could have PS4 can get the Doom armor, and then the Xbox players can get the Halo armor.
Yeah, that'd be
Okay.
really sick.
Resident
Yep.
Evil.
I can't think of any weapons though. Maybe a plasma rifle greatsword. Makes that noise whenever it charges up. Or the BFG greatsword. That would be cool.
Yes.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
Cool. I don't know. I think that's a good place to sort of leave off, unless we want to answer the
Yes.
have Arctic answer the dating question.
So we've been asking all our guests this: if you could date one monster, which monster would you date and why? This is
Just
very-
dating.
Yeah, just dating. This is a very serious podcast for serious gamers.
Yeah. We know what that means. I'm going to go with either... Wow. I haven't seen all the monsters yet.
For previous examples, I said Mitsune because it seems like it'd be cool to go hang out in a spa and really chillax, and it doesn't really attack you unless you like start giving it problems. So
Yeah.
it's more relaxed of a monster. That was my answer. Although it might be changing to bird with rock. I keep forgetting his name.
Kuluyaku.
Yeah,
Kuluyaku.
Kuluyaku, because he seems like a cool dude.
Probably going to go with Legiana. Just, I don't know, it's magnificent as far as I look
Elegant,
at it.
yeah.
And then I get a ride home.
Okay. I don't know. That's kind of an awkward situation. Hey, so this date went bad, but can you still fly me home? Like, do I have to walk now? All right. Oh, jeez.
Plus, slinging onto one of the random flying wyverns and flying away would be a great way to exit a bad date. So yeah, I'm just gonna bye. Reel out of there.
I'm just sad no more people don't make more puns about these dating things.
What were
There's so many good ones.
previous responses?
I mean, I said Mitsune I don't know,
Okay.
Fortuan, what was your pick? I thought you said Diablos just because you like Diablos for everything.
No, I said Ignactor because it was the hottest one in the room. And no, well, also because it's got that cool swagger, and I said Toby would be the new one because it also has that cool sort of snake-like swagger, that confidence that's supposed to be attractive. That was my previous answer. Would have been Toby in this generation.
Sorry, you're talking about swagger, and you didn't mention Zenogre's swag walk, when he just like does that real proud buff walk forward. It's like, yeah, I'm charging up. What are you gonna do? Hit me?
I mean, I'm not into big burly football players. I'm just going to put that out there.
How about you, Ariel? I don't think you ever answered that question, by the way,
Ugh,
because we never asked that one of you.
You successfully dodged it last
yeah,
time.
that's I wasn't saying anything. I couldn't think of anything.
Black
I'll
Diablos?
probably go with like a Toby. I think there'd be a real spark between us. Hey.
Good one. Most people are like, don't do puns. They're horrible. And I'm like, no, I'm a dad. Puns are like my life. my 3-year-old tries to copy them. Like, did it that thing, Daddy, isn't that funny? I'm like, I don't even know what you're saying, girl, but yep, it's funny.
Eventually, she's gonna learn how to do knock-knock jokes, and you're gonna have to sit through hours of terrible, terrible knock-knock jokes.
So no lie, legit, she kind of does knock jokes right now.
Uh-oh.
But she misses the who's there part. So what she does, she's like, knock, and I go, who's there? And she just says whatever it is. She doesn't it just
Doesn't
like,
quite get the joke.
yeah, like she just says, it's me, it's Cece. And then like, oh, okay. What started this is she was just being goofy, and she said, knock, and I asked who's there, and she said, I'm a potato. And then I like went on this like really fast talking tirade about why are potatoes knocking on my door, and I hate potatoes, and please go away, and what kind of world do we have talking potatoes? And she just cracked up. So then like for weeks she would do knock, I'm a potato, knock, I'm a potato. She wants me to just go on this rant. And then sometimes she'll end it with, I'm Cece. And I'm like, oh, Cece, come in. Let's go play and have dinner. Oh, kids. All right. So I guess we'll wrap it up. We're getting a little over our time, so. Thank you, hunters, for joining us today. This is at Fortuan signing off, and we'll see you next quest. And where can we find you, Ariel?
All right, you can find me at Dread Pirate Rada on Twitter, and I'll talk to you guys later. Where can we find you, Lobo?
You can find me in your wildest dreams, and a Twitter coming to you
Ooh.
soon.
We'll work on that.
What about you, Arctic?
For now, on PSN, Arctic Sky, feel free to add me or message me, and I'll be glad to talk to you guys.
I'm still getting over the end of your dreams. I was holding that in so much. Wow, that was really forward. Thank you, hunters, for listening today. You can catch us on SoundCloud or any past episodes on Google Drive Download or YouTube.